In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about achieving goals, setting goals, and everything related to goals. What's up, everyone? I'm Dan Gorfinkel with eXp Realty, and today I'm going to be talking about goal setting and achieving those goals. And what a better way to kick things off than talking about a couple team members of mine, one of whom did over a dozen sales in their first full year in the business in real estate, and another one in just their second year in the business is on track to making close to $250,000 in gross commission income. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, stay tuned, stay on this video, and I'm going to share my best stuff as I always do. So basically what I always do from a day in and day out standpoint is you have mini goals, you have like little microscopic goals that you're setting, and you're kind of launching into the day, and you have to make sure it's a win for the day, because the nature of real estate is we always feel like we can be on a bit of an island in a sense where you're just not able to get it together. Something goes bad and it can kind of snowball. So you want to stick to those goals. You want to make sure that you have something to kind of go on. So really the mini goals on a day-to-day basis are such that if you start the day off right, whether it be just eating the right breakfast, having a good exercise, whatever it may be, and then prospecting for about an hour in the morning, that's the best way to kind of set the path for a successful day. There's a lot of things that can be demoralizing in the business. I'm very well aware of this after all my time in it. It never gets really a lot easier. It's always about just kind of maintaining and succeeding and having those small victories. I'm a big believer in the teaching by Mike Ferry, and he's somebody who always said that having little victories, even if you are somebody who fails at making a phone call and someone rejects you, it's still a check mark. It's still something that you did, and it's really kind of one step further to getting that yes answer from that potential client. When you think of it like that, you can also monetize it. You can say that a successful deal is going to net you $10,000 or $15,000 in commission income, and every single no that's getting you a step closer to that is something that has value, has actual monetary value to it as well. So if you look at things like that as you're setting your goals for X number of contacts, X number of people that you're going to be in touch with on a day-to-day basis or on a week-to-week basis, it's all going to come out very positively by the end. So that's kind of your kind of mini, weekly, daily, small goals. From a big picture standpoint, you want to every single year set the goals for how many transactions you're going to do on an annual basis, what your gross commission income is on an annual basis. And in so doing, one thing I've always taught people is you have a spreadsheet or you have kind of a QuickBooks account set up where you're going to do a budget at the end of any given year, and you're going to budget all your expenses. But one thing that's a little bit predictive in a way is setting up what you're going to have as far as income. And we all know in this business, once you hit the end of the year and you're starting fresh again for the following year, there's no guarantee that you're going to make what you did the previous year. There's absolutely no guarantee. It's another thing to hit that high level and effectively stay on track with that year in and year out. So I think that there's a lot to be said from a budgetary standpoint. So you set your expectations from an expense standpoint. You know what your expenses are. Those are, for the most part, fixed. You're going to have some things interchangeably within the course of the year as far as business expenses. Maybe you're trying some different prospecting. Maybe you're trying something that is going to cost you money with Zillow. So, obviously all those things can kind of lend into the goal setting where your goal is to not to spend too much money. Your goal is to kind of rein in your expenses. And then your goal is to surpass those expenses. Ideally, double or triple what your expenses are is what your income should be. So that way you don't have to worry. It doesn't keep you up at night. And when you do that, let's say that you have an expectation of $50,000 in business expenses for the upcoming calendar year. And when you've kind of set your mind to, well, geez, what do I need to have as a healthy offset to this $50,000 annual expense? Well, ideally, you're going to make somewhere in the ballpark of $150,000. And in so doing, if you can budget in the range of $10,000 to $12,000, maybe even a little loftier, $15,000 a month in income, and also take into account those specific goals, income-wise, knowing that there's a cyclical nature of real estate, you're not necessarily going to do $15,000 in commissions in January, but you may be doing $25,000, $30,000 in May or June. So there's the ebbs and flows of the natural market, whether it's the spring market or the fall market. And you need to be, a little bit cognizant of that. You have to set goals that are going to not stress you out. I know that everyone always says set goals that are lofty and then, kind of reach for the moon and hit the stars and you're in good shape, something to that effect. But, ultimately set what you feel comfortable with And even if you're a new person in the business, a new agent, got a really good coach or mentor that can help you out, by all means, you have to bounce those ideas off of them, and they're gonna, step it up and help you out and help you kind of craft and tailor those goals to your specific market, to kind of what you're capable of doing. And also, we all know that it's product of what you put into something is usually what you get out of it. So knowing that setting the goals and reaching those are such that you have to stay dedicated, you have to stay on track with things, and you ultimately have to stay engaged with your past clients, with your current clients, and try to go forward with future clients as well. The best thing that I've found is when you're working really hard and you're prospecting and you're sourcing your past clients, sometimes you'll find that a new sale or a new client comes from out of the blue. It's the product of hard work. It's the whole concept of like the harder you work, the luckier you get. That's something to also bear in mind in this business, that some things have a way of materializing if you're putting in the right effort. And I think that's the right mindset that you also have to carry with it. So you have goals, you have to be accountable to your own goals. It's a great idea to have mastermind groups. I've found throughout the years doing masterminds with other successful agents has lent itself to other great ideas in terms of getting clients, in terms of other goals that they're kind of setting, and that's ultimately what your best effort is, to just kind of lean into what your goals are, never back down, and ultimately ratchet things up year to year. I've also found that, again, no shame in being on a good level for 5 or 10 or 15 years. I know it takes time to build in this business, and if you've kind of plateaued, there's no shame in that as well. I've found that plateauing at a really high number and working at a really high level is something that I can get comfortable with. I can also have a life as well, because the nature of this business is if you focus on it 24/7, but if you can wrap your personal life into it in a way that it blends, it actually becomes less stressful. So I think that's another valuable tip in there as well. So anything that you need from me, anytime you want to reach out to me, by all means, hit me up on the chat or the comments section, send me a direct message, reach out to me via text 617-820-8085. And by all means, if you like what you're seeing, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to keep putting out as much great content as possible. I'm somebody who has had such a great track record in this business, and I'm here to share everything. All my best stuff, I'm here to share it, and I'm happy to help anyone individually or collectively. So just let me know. Dan Gorfinkel with eXp Realty.